Hey guys, just a quick video on my new Fusil De Chasse from Military Heritage in Ottawa, Canada. Quick shout out to those guys. Thank you, Robert H., for your excellent service and really quick delivery on this. Guys, for anybody looking for a flintlock rifle reproduction, this is a really accurate, historically correct way to go. These are a lot more ready for reenactors than the Pedersolis, and they shoot just great. I had to do some work to this to get it up and running, but at half the price of a Pedersoli, it's well worth it. And they're a lot more accurate in their presentation. You don't have to defarb. You don't have to do a lot of the stuff that you'd have to do, you know, like the all the markings and that are on the Italian guns. And I think the Italian guns, they being CNC machined from you know, computer-driven carving machines. These are hand done in India, and they're just a lot more. They're just a lot more accurate to what the original firearms would be. You can see I put in a French thumb piece there. Got that from Muzzleloader Supply, and this gun has just been really a great addition to my collection. I know there's a couple of guys out there that badmouth these, but you know, for the price, well, not even for the price, but for what you're getting, it's a fantastic bargain. These guns shoot very well. All you got to do, you got to clean them up, drill the vent hole, and do some work on the springs. But other than that, you know, I consider this an advanced, like a kit, 99% done kit. As you can see, I did some work to the stock. Did that right away, right out of the box. I took off the old finish. I didn't like that. It was, you know, it was serviceable. But as you can see, there's some really nice figure under the finish, and that's what I was going for. Again, these have to be, you know, you got to do a little bit of work to get them up and running. Right out of the box, they're okay for like reenacting if you're just shooting blanks. But you know, if you want a good accurate gun, like any gun, it needs some tuning. And again, these are half the price of a Pedersoli. These are $5.49 through Military Heritage in Canada, and that's another thing. You get to take advantage of the U.S. dollar being so strong as compared to the Canadian dollar. The wood is carved well, and the barrel is nice and strong. It's actually the steel that they use is made from the same steel that the auto industry uses for their axles on cars. So it's a high quality steel, as described by a couple of YouTubers, Murphy's Muskets and Madras Arsenal. Shout out to you guys, good work. You know, they really have done a lot of info on these guns, so check them out. And there's another fellow who actually badmouths these a lot. I think he works for Pedersoli. He's on the Pedersoli website, their corporate website, so I figure something's up here. But he badmouths these and says they're not, you know, they're not to shoot and they're not proof tested, which proof testing is really just a mild explosion inside the barrel, and if they don't completely break down and devour themselves, they consider that a success. So these have not been proof tested. They are, however, made of extremely high quality steel, as you can see. And I've shot this one since I got it. I've probably put probably about 40 or 50 loads through it, and it's functioned flawlessly. The only thing I did have to do, as you can see, there's the vent hole, and I did some spring work on this internally. Let me see if I can get that back for you. There's half cock, and you saw I just did it with my single hand while I'm holding the camera, which is kind of difficult, but there's the vent hole, and let me show you the spark. Gets a really good spark. I'm using a 1-inch English flint. Hopefully this, there you go. Hopefully that caught the spark on the camera for you guys to see. But like I said, it's very well done. It's this is the Fusil De Chasse, or the French musket. You can see it's got the tool on the side plate, the lock plate, and it's got the V instead of the U, so that signifies that it was before 1740, which is what I wanted. You know, my family's from Canada, and they probably would have carried this a couple hundred years ago. But it's got the octagon barrel, done very well. And then from the octagon, it goes to a 16, it's faceted here, so it goes from 8 to 16 to the large wedding band. It's called the large wedding band. Transition to a round in the small wedding band. It's 60 inches overall, and just a really nice gun. Again, this is a Fusil De Chasse from Military Heritage, also called Access Heritage, and you can find them on the internet. Also in muzzleloading magazines they advertise. Just a really nice gun, and if you're looking for something that's well worth the price, I consider these a bargain at $5.49. Again, the Canadian dollar allows you to really take advantage of the price. These Pedersoli has something similar, which I don't think is quite as nice, for $1,200. And then of course you can get if you want it in kit form, the kit is $800 from Track of the Wolf, which is, it's a lot less work that has been done to it than this. I put a new ramrod on that. I got that. That's just a steel rod that I picked up at Ace for $5. The other one was not suitable for shooting. Good for display, but not for hard work. You can see the carving here is really nicely inletted. All the steel has been inletted very well. That's another thing you won't see on the Italian guns because of the CNC machinery. Italian guns are very well made. They're strong. They're fine for shooting, but they're just not accurate historically. They don't look like there's any hand work on them or hand carving. And these are just so much more artistic, in my opinion, and so much more worth what you pay. You could also go with a custom gun, if you got the money, but I saw one on sittingfox.com. It's a website that sells a lot of black powder custom stuff. These are Pedersoli's $1,200. Sitting Fox had them for $3,000. Same gun, a little fancier, but I'm not really looking for fancy. I'm looking for a good shooter, an accurate gun, and a historically correct gun, which is what this is. So if you want to save some money and you are a little nervous about maybe purchasing a replica from India, don't be, because they're very well made. And they'll give you years of service. Just clean them up. Like I said, you got to do some work on the springs. Internally, I took down the springs, and there's some videos on YouTube on how to do that, how to lighten the spring. And then, of course, clean the barrel and installed the vent hole. But that's it for now. If you have any questions, give me a holler. And if feel free to ask whatever questions you have, and I'll be happy to answer them. Like I said, check out Madras Arsenal and Murphy's Muskets. A lot of good information there as well. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.